The Cheeto dusted SpongeBob. Correct. Illinois is red outside of Chicago, but Chicago has a lot of people. Chicago has a lot of people. I'm in Canada. We got the guy with the nice hair. Challenging you. What was it? What was the joke with the last election cycle? It was like the only real winner in this presidential election was Indiana because they got rid of Pence. All right, let's not dive into politics too much on stream. That's gonna twist some knobs and cut some hair. Twist some knobs, cut some hair. I don't know what kind of reference I was making there, but all right. All right. I think this is a keep. I don't know. Maybe we're supposed to mulligan closed hands that don't have Hardened Scales in it. I feel like if your deck is much better when it has the card it's named after, you should probably mulligan closed hands that don't have that card. And this hand's functional. This, I assume we're supposed to name constructs with this. Am I supposed to keep this? I think I'm gonna bottom that. I think we're just looking for a namesake. In my experience playing against this deck, it's really bad whenever it doesn't have the card it's named after. So I'm gonna try and find the card that it's named after. I've got to use twist some knobs and cut some hair. What's going on, Larynx? Is this the Valakut Titan deck again, it looks like? Knob twisted haircut emotes. Right on time, Aether Vial. Alright, let's protect our Steel Overseer with this. Yep, yeah, you can stack the Voltaic Servant triggers twice, so you can untap it twice. I feel like our deck is probably a little bit too honest on average for this to be too good of a matchup. This is the Valakut deck really preys on the style of decks that can't close the game out by turn 4 or 5. Like the Valakut Titan deck is very consistent at killing you on like turns 5 and 6. Welding Jar is the first artifact we played. It's a 0-cost artifact that sacrifices itself to regenerate an artifact. This is really common in a lot of these artifact synergy decks in Modern because it keeps your key cards alive. Yeah, but like, I believe you that we can kill quickly when we get both of those cards. But I feel like getting 2 specific cards in our deck with minimal amounts of card selection. Do we have Ancient Stirrings in this deck? There's got to be Ancient Stirrings in this deck, right? There's no Ancient Stirrings in this deck. So in a deck devoid of card selection, assembling 2 specific cards quickly on time is pretty unlikely. The deck cuts Stirrings for Vial. That's weird. Does Vial make the deck that much faster? Does it actually make this deck that much faster? Regenerate this Stork. I'm putting these on here because if they have another lightning bolt, I'd prefer they kill this rather than my Steel Overseer. RXB1000 with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate that. So we could potentially have them dead as early as next turn. Again, the problem is like that's like a turn 5 kill from us, which is too slow in this matchup by and large. I wonder if I'm supposed to have attacked with this here. Now I'll probably start attacking next turn, right? Yeah, the Aether Vial seems like a strange inclusion in this deck. Like, how many things did it actually even put into play? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, like, there's 26. There's only 18 things that the Vial puts into play. That seems really loose. So I'm going to target the Steel Overseer twice. We'll let the first one happen. Then we'll diddle and then we'll undiddle. Hey, diddle diddle. Hey, Solich with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you for that. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. You have a Bloodbraid Elf, sure. All right, they don't have anything big going on here. Yeah, the servants seem really sweet. I agree. And that's part of the reason why we play a lot of decks on this channel, right? Like, a lot of the time, these newer decks especially, we try and give feedback on them that's constructive after playing games with them. So, I think I'm actually just going to attack with the Steel Overseer next turn, just to, like, pressure my opponent's health total ASAP. Because this is still going to untap at end of turn, which will let me get 2 counters. So, good chance they're dead next turn. Good chance we're dead next turn too, though, to be fair. Yeah, Voltaic Servant with the Steel Overseer is kind of like an extra... It's kind of like an extra, like, pump effect, right? Because, like, it's giving you an extra one every turn. Thank you, JMP. It's a good idea. Oh, I forgot to tweet that we're playing green-white scales, I think, too. Did I? Did I tweet? I don't think I tweeted. I did not. Let's tweet. Let's post a picture, shall we? I have no idea why my opponent didn't make the play that makes sense. Best not to wonder that on Magic Online. So they're going to like mow down my squad here. This is probably going to get double. Oh, they didn't sack the Steve because they're getting double Valakut off the Primeval Titan, and now the Sakura Tribuilder can deal 6 damage to something. That's why they didn't sack the Sakura Tribuilder. Yep. I guess this has been pretty impressive considering we've drawn mostly mana sources this game, but this deck has a lot of mana sources in it, right? It's like 18, 22. There's basically 26 mana sources in this deck. It's a lot of fucking mana. Arcbound Ravager is lethal here. Imagine if these had been Ancient Stirrings. We'd have gotten to dig for cards that could have been lethal here. So we're dead to any mountain next turn. No, we're dead to double mountain, right? Because they get to put us to 8. Yep, they're going for the dome here. So they have mountain plus ramp spell. We die next turn. This is a close game, especially considering how much we flooded here. But I think the way this deck is built, it's prone to flooding. Like, we have 26 mana sources in our deck that curves out at 2. This has been great. These Voltaic Servants have been excellent. This interaction is really powerful. And they have 2 cards here, so like they need to draw the one they need. So I guess double ramp spell or escape shift does a 2 here. Titan's also good. Like they have a lot of live ones, but they don't have it. They die. Can you just put your escape shift on the stack so I can concede? The draw a card button on Magic Online, it's a suggestion. It's not there. It's not there for... Alright. I mean, we have a Welding Jar. We had a Welding Jar. The one of random Welding Jar is a little bit weird too. It seems like a card that's really valuable, so it's kind of odd to me to see only one of them. Do I have any cards in my sideboard that matter here? I think I'm just going to side the Vials out. I think I agree with that. No, I think I'd cut Vials before I cut lands. I like casting my spells. I guess I bring in Dromoka's command. Just because, like, it... No, Chalice on 4 is slow and bad. Did you see that game? How many lands did we have at the end? It's been a quick minute. Nicholas Bolas, thanks for the bits. I hope you've been doing well. It has been a quick minute. Kinda, but like, I feel like we're not winning the game. Okay, maybe Vial does insane things this game. We boarded down to 1 Vial, and it is in our opening hand like the professional that I am, so let's go. Why do people play more than one of this card? If you only play 1, you never have to draw a second copy later. I have 1 of each landline in all of my sideboards for that reason. Yeah, if Vial worked like Hearthstone Quest, right? That'd be sick. Alright, well, we've got Servant Overseer going. You should play 4 Vials. If you're playing 1, you should play 4. That was me being facetious about me being lucky, for those that didn't pick up on that. If Vial is a card that your deck is interested in having, you want it consistently in your opening hand, you should play 4 of them. Yeah, I just feel like you don't really have a critical... Like, we have a lot of 2s this game, but I feel like a lot of games we're not going to have this many 2s, right? I'm killing my Steel Overseer here. Feels like a Slag Storm, yep. Which, like, again, now, like, someone mentioned this last game, like, the Voltaic Servant was sweet with the Steel Overseer, but, like, we don't have enough ways to, like, consistently protect our Steel Overseer with this build, because there's only one copy of Welding Jar for some reason, so... But I mean, is it actually decent? Look at the number of cards we have. Like, we only have 14 2-drops to put into play with it. And like, and that means we already have one in play if it's going to be sweet. I thought he used the Aether Vial. That seems like a good line, honestly. I mean, my hand is full of 2-drops. I want a 4th land. Why would I sacrifice my 3rd land when I want a 4th one? Work with me, chat. Work with me. Yeah, and like these draws that we're having here, like, I guess I'm not really surprised by them. Like when I've played against this deck online and stuff before, I've always been like, oh, this deck seems really sweet if it gets Hardened Scales. And like, we have 2 games in a row where we don't have Hardened Scales, and it feels kind of anemic. Yeah, Mox Opal would be nutso here. Probably conceding to a bolt. Well, if they had a bolt, they probably would have killed it already, right? We're not in a position to beat a Titan this game, are we? I guess maybe with Arcbound Ravager we could be. If we draw a 4th land and go Arcbound Ravager into Throne of Geth, we could maybe win the game. Probably not anymore. I'm gonna sit down for a bit. Oh, they don't have another green source. That's good for us. That is not good for us. Yep. Oh. Yep, I agree, Bob. And that's why I feel like when people play modern decks like this, it's very easy to tunnel vision on what the nut draws are. But like, so many modern decks have okay nut draws that it's just like, you can't really focus on the nut draw for evaluating how reasonable a deck is. I mean, they don't have a second green, and they're still 2 mountains off of Valakut working. If they turn the Valakuts on before we can kill them, we're probably dead. You're not wrong. 1 bit is 1 penny for a streamer, so 100 bits is $1. All right. Am I supposed to just play this for 1 and then play Throne of Geth? I think I am, actually. Mad farming was insane today. Essentially a free $5. Treat yourself to a cake shake. Thank you, extras. I appreciate it. Welcome. And I think I just need to get the throne going to kill them before... Are they dead this turn? So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm too short. Woo! All the cupcake bits. Let me know if you want to what deck you would like to bump up in the queue for those extras. I do appreciate the support. Ah, cupcakes. 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 We might actually get them here. I guess they have a bunch of ramp spells and they turn on their Valakuts. Okay. Their draw was worse than ours. I wonder if they failed to fetch green earlier and it came back to punish them. Yeah, I don't think I really want to change anything here. What's going on, Iron? Yeah, the Miracle set was really quite insane. Hey, remember when I said you should just only play one vial because you should just always draw it in your opening hand? Just do that. I lied. When I said you should play 4, I was a liar. Just always play 1. It's great. I was so wrong. The Singleton Vial is great. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Chat! Oh no! Vial sucks. This is Jeff's fault, right? We should cut the vial so I'm not tempted to keep hands like this. That's what we should do. At least I have my Arcbound Workers, chat. Yeah, I did count it as 3 points of damage. We were still too short. We had +3 from the Hangarback Walker, then we had 2 other artifacts for +5. Footloose, sounds good extras. Alright, let's try again. Let's try again. I feel like we can do better than that. I feel like we can draw the card our deck is named after rather than one of Aether Vials. Well, for this matchup up, I'd just like to thank everyone for hanging on. I do appreciate it. My name's Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. Magic 30+ hours a week. Some Hearthstone, some Hex. We play a lot of Modern, play some Legacy, play some Vintage. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are the folks that keep me employed. Also, the folks that keep me employed are my wonderful sponsors. Please check some of them out. Cardsphere.com. We'll love to help you turn some of your Magic cards into other cards or cash directly with other players. There's no haggling. They just take a 1% fee off the top. Mac Weldon provides premium men's clothing. Using code Jeff Hoagland at bit.ly/Google Clothes, you can save 20% on your first order of shirts, polos, underwear, socks, all sorts of great stuff. This is actually one of their t-shirts I'm wearing right now. And of course, this stream wouldn't be possible without viewers like Anaronix, Justin Nivik, and all of y'all out there. Thanks for dropping by today, folks. There's a lot of different things you could be watching, different great people producing content on Twitch. So thanks for spending some time here. Well, I mean, I feel like I'm not like these hands aren't good, but like they're not like you need to mulligan these hands bad, right? I can wait, Iron. I can wait. We can Vial in the Ballista this turn. That's why Vial's in the deck. We can Vial in Walking Ballista and Hangarback Walker right away. It makes perfect sense now. Ooh, perfect. We drew the card our deck is named after. We drew the card our deck is named after. Oh, magic. Oh, magic. Ah, you've activated my trap card, opponent. Get that Arcbound Worker value. Joke's on you, opponent. This is how I feel every time you play a weird... Well, it's your fault for playing those decks, Bob. Did you ever consider maybe you should be luckier? You're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck. That's like the story of my Magic career, basically. You're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck. Story of Hogland's experience playing on the SCG Open Tour. So if we have Vial on 2, does that mean we get a 1-1 Ballista? Exactly. Stinger gets it. Someone who's been around the park a little bit. That's exactly how that works. So, Mana Leaks and Lightning Bolts means we're playing against, like, Blue Moon here, I think. Anyone have wood for sheep? Alright, so this is gonna be always no at this point. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Casting the card your deck is named after. It's delicious. It's delicious and nutritious. Yes. Yes. Are you about to die, opponent? Oh, this is a logic knot, right? Are they dead? Are they dead? This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm 1 short of lethal. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm 2 short of lethal. Yeah, I'm 2 short of lethal. So for those that are wondering on my mathing there, the Arcbound Worker is worth 3 counters. Chat, I can't animate the Inkmoth Nexus if I play the Walking Ballista. Come on now, chat. Keep up. Keep up. So this is worth 3 counters because the 2 on it modular over, and then Arcbound Worker Ravager gets 1 from sacrificing the worker. So this would be 3, and then this is a 4th, and this is a 5th, and this is a 6th, 7th, and then this is a base 1. I am nowhere near dealing lethal damage with... I'm nowhere near dealing lethal damage with regular damage. Just whenever it comes up in the queue. You can always take a peek at the queue by going to bit.ly/donationqueue. Select everything to the Ravager, and then after combat, put the counters on the Ballista. So, I could have done... 1... So, I did 3 to them. I could have done 4, 5, 6, 7... I could have done 4 more to put them to 10. And then I would have only had 9 counters here, so that wouldn't be lethal, right? Am I miscounting that? I want to count that again because I didn't count regular damage. So I just assumed it wasn't enough. They were at 17. I attacked for 3. Oh, I guess this is +1. So if I sacked this, it would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. And then it would have been exactly lethal. It would have been exactly lethal. Chat is correct. Because this would have been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this would have been an 8-8, and then we'd sack it to itself and put the counters here, and they'd die. I didn't even think about trying to get lethal that way. I was like, I guess I didn't realize the Arcbound Ravager doubled up with the Walking Ballista. So that's good to count. Definitely supposed to start by sacking this Horizon Canopy. And now that they're have lightning bolts and stuff up, I need to just be conservative. Although I guess they didn't... Are they auto-passing? It feels like they're auto-passing, right? Do I just go for it? They are definitely auto-passing. Just moto things. Just moto. I probably wouldn't have gone for it there in paper, but they were 10 out of 10 auto-passing. How many of my 1 mana spells do I cut if I'm bringing in Chalice? Most of them? Do I trim Hangarback Walker against the... No, it's probably just too good with Arcbound Ravager and other things. Do I cut the workers? And they have that face that says I'm totally auto-passing. Am I supposed to just trim these? I feel like I want to minimize the number of 1 mana spells in my deck if I'm planning to Chalice on one. Oh yeah, that's true, Cess. That's correct. We could have played through a bolt. I'm gonna give the person that suggested we cut the card our deck is named after. These Dromoka commands in our sideboard seem... What's the word to use? Can we say they're ambitious? The Dromoka's commands in our sideboard seem ambitious. This is a great Ethersworn Canonist deck, by the way. Truly, truly fantastic. Oh, they're playing Delver. They're playing Delver. That's interesting. Maybe they have sideboard Delvers to work through, like, when they need more threats to close the game out. I wouldn't be surprised if they just have Delver in their main deck, honestly. It's a good draw. I guess I go Canonist here, which turns on Opal, then I play Hardened Scales. Fair. Yeah, not only is Hex's standard format a little bit more diverse, bro Sator, but they added support for their non-rotating format Immortal. They added Immortal Gauntlet starting this week, and their constructed ladder has something called Cosmic Coins, so you can play for prizes on demand throughout the entire season now instead of just only until you hit Cosmic. So they've made a lot of good improvements. They also introduced, there's things called signature decks, which are very similar to the, what's it called, decks that Magic introduced? The I'm blanking on their names. The decks that they're basically just introductory decks that are affordable. I'm gonna start on Ravager here, I think. Yeah, they're like the challenger decks. Challenger decks is the word I'm searching for. Thank you, chat. Diamond Ruby Arden, awesome. That, unless you have a Vapor Snag, you're not going to be very happy with these results. The opponent is aware that this is modern and not legacy. Jury is out. Unsure. Well, when our deck draws the card it's named after, it seems particularly good. Weird. 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 This is strange. Our deck is good. When we draw the card our deck is named after. We did win the game where we missed lethal. I'm pretty sure that board was lethal through some disruption, and it looks like our opponent was pretty confident too that was also lethal through disruption. Feedback so far. Deck seems sweet. The green-white cards in the sideboard seem what I'm going to call ambitious with the mana base that we have. Aether Vial seems like a giant steaming pile of poop soup. That being said, Aether Vial being poop soup in our main deck does make sideboarding easier. We've got that going for us. Glass half full. I think trying to play Snake in this deck is probably bad for the same reason as trying to play these green white cards on the board. If I was starving, would I eat well-made poop soup? Ugh. Ugh. Vial will skillfully trick the opponent into boarding an artifact hate. Shouldn't Aether Vial be Ancient Stirrings? The Voltaic Servant's actually been kind of impressive. I think alongside both Throne of Geth and Steel Overseer, the Voltaic Servant is probably fine. Voltaic Servant also seems good with Hangarback Walker, right? So like we have a few different cards that these Voltaic Servants synergize with. So Voltaic Servant is a card that I want to play more games with before I declare it good, bad, or otherwise. Red's interesting. Honestly, white, Jaws, thank you for the bits. I appreciate that. Honestly, white just for Ethersworn Canonist actually seems kind of okay. How do I unban? Mods, can someone unban Lukatog? I just wanted to remove their message from chat really quick, and apparently I don't know how to time someone out for just a second. I would prefer, so I know there was a YouTuber that has, let's just say a really offensive name. And I would prefer if we didn't use their name on this channel because I don't want to promote their content while they use that name. I think it's really awkward and insensitive. We could add a few tone. That is a good idea. We do get to play powerful cards with the white splash. We can play Stony Silence. Yeah, I think Servant's probably worth exploring in the deck. That must be some kind of add-on that you have. When I click on someone's name, I don't have a 1-second option. I have a timeout, a ban, and a mod option. Is our one basic in my hand right now? What a tilt. That's not true, McCullough. I literally have a bunch of colored sources in play right now. Wine varies pretty drastically depending on what application you're trying to use it with. So there are a lot of applications that run perfectly fine. There's a lot of applications that run okay but have worse performance than on Windows. There's some applications that run fantastic and have better performance than on Windows. Like, this matchup's probably really rancid for us, right? Like, they just have a lot of really quality interaction. The fact that we're flooding this particular game isn't helping, but I think even when we have good draws, we're going to probably struggle against what the opponent's doing. We got you, Ryland. DSLS, I'm doing well. Life is swell. Kids are back at daycare today for the first time this week. They were sick the last couple of days. MTGO Wine and Ubuntu 1604 Valakut combo. Yeah, that's actually what I'm streaming from now. I'm streaming from an Ubuntu 1604 based system. I'm using a custom desktop on it, but this is... You can get electrolyzed here, and I'm going to concede. It's like mashed potatoes at this point. If you wanted something descriptive, imagine mashed potatoes instead of soup. Can we describe excrement with food? Hope nobody was eating lunch. I guess it's noon on the East Coast, so sorry to everybody on the East Coast. Being a parent is great. It is, I swear. All right. I was about to get lunch. I'm off it. That's true. We didn't get electrolyzed. That is very true. Can you time yourself out for... Look, somebody asked. I was just answering the question, chat. I was just answering the question. Look, I've got this... If poop grosses you out and talking about poop, I've got this very good book. It's one of Declan's favorite books. It's called What is Poop? It describes what poop is and where it comes from. It can be a very educational reading experience. It's even got fun flip flaps that you can flip up and down while you learn about poop. I'm gonna sack this Mox Opal and proliferate now, just in case they have like a 2 damage spell. Is it available on Kindle? No, it's a hard cardboard flap book, so you can flip things up and down and it'd be interactive. Just would totally be ruined on the digital experience. This is now a poop stream. Can we race them? That's a good draw. As a millennial, I can't read things that aren't displayed on some sort of screen. God bless. I thought poop came from the donation queue. There's someone that's been here before. That is certainly one of the places poop comes from. My involvement with human excrement. Did I just skip my combat step? I totally just skipped my combat step. All this poop talk. It's got me skipping combat steps, chat. It's no good. It's no good for me. That, we're dead to Bolt Snap Bolt. That's not true, right? Take a block with Inkmoth. I'm gonna sack this so they don't draw a card here, because like we're not gonna have time to do it again anyways. So now I'm really sad that I missed my 4 points of damage, because they could be at 13 here. Probably not gonna matter, but it could. It could. Yeah, they'd be at 12, which would mean we could be attacking for lethal next turn. They have 3 cards in their hand. I feel like anything, assuming anything is lethal is bad, but like, we kind of just have to go for it, right? But I can't, I don't have anything to go for because I missed my damage last turn. Hey, look, an Aether Vial. Hey, look, an Aether Vial. This is definitely a Chalice matchup, right? I'm just gonna trim this shit again. Definitely a Karn matchup. Definitely a Spellskite matchup. Probably Canonist too, honestly. This is basically one-sided in this deck, right? So seems fine. Board in a Dromoka's command to counter lightning bolts and stuff. Seems okay. Nah, I think I'd rather just have Canonist to shut off Snapcaster Mage. That's better. I want to, like I said, I want to minimize my number of 1-mana spells when I'm bored in Chalice, I think. We are 1-1, and we're currently down a game against Jeskai, but they mulligan to 5 here, and we have a Chalice for 1 on the play. So hopefully we'll get to steal it here with fair modern things. So one of the few matchups where Chalice is very good. If you've watched the channel before, you know I'm not a huge fan of Chalice in general in Modern, but there are some matchups that it dunks on, and this is definitely one of them. Especially against a deck that cares about its creatures. Hey, Steam Flogger Boss with the $10 donation. Cleared this with you the other day, Legacy Punishing Thieves. Sounds great. We'll get that added for sure. Thank you for the support. Josh! Thank you for another 100 bits. I appreciate that. Let me know if there are any decks that are in the queue that you would like to bump up with those bits. So that's just a reminder to anybody that donates or cheers bits. Every dollar you donate or 100 bits you cheer, you can send that to a point as a deck in the donation queue and get that deck played a little bit sooner. I always try and prioritize the people that support my content. So the people that support my stuff get to dictate how soon we play the things on the stream. Dredge sounds great. And then we're going to kill them pretty quickly here now. We're going to go Voltaic Servant next turn. Don't anger me. 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 Don't do it. Don't do it. Have a heart, opponent. Have a heart. Have a heart. Don't Anger of the Gods me. Don't Faltering Suns me. Don't Slag Storm me. Don't tap 3 lands and do 3 damage. Just don't do it. Do 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 do. We could get Wrath next turn. I feel like we're not in a position to beat Wrath. I feel like I just need to put my thing into play and kill them very quickly here. If we get Wrathed, we get Wrathed. You could definitely get Wrath next turn. Verdict did. Settle the Wreckage. We can play around to Settle the Wreckage a touch. Ooh, that doesn't cast a Wrath. That doesn't cast a Wrath, opponent. I think I want to just enter combat here. I don't want them to be able to Cryptic my Hangarback Walker and tap my team this turn. Hangarback Walker is a good card that can let us play through a sweeper, though, which is nice. Got you extras. There are polluted deltas in the Temur colors. Good catch. So now we can probably beat a Wrath, right? I'm gonna go ahead and do this now, just in case my opponent has a Lightning Helix. I don't want them to Helix Hangarback Walker. What's going on, Jose? Alright, hopefully I don't have to stand up, cash in on the we can beat a Wrath statement. They just don't have it. Would be ideal. Oh. I'm not attacking the Hangarback Walker in here. I would like to not lose everything to a Settle the Wreckage. It floops Emrakul into play and kills them. And remember, Marvel's stupid and cast the spell, so this is 10 out of 10 to Settle the Wreckage, huh? I guess I should have played this pre-combat. So I could have gotten a 1/1 counter on it. Yeah, that was a mistake. What cost 5? Secure the Waste? Deal. I guess I really don't want to play this, because that would give them another thing to sweep away here. But I guess if they could sweep, they would have swept already, right? And the flagship card for the expertly crafted yeah. Kaladesh is probably going to be a stain on whatever non-rotating format comes after Modern. I can only assume that that's going to be the case. It's going to be whatever the non-rotating format is that comes after Modern. Like Kaladesh is going to be like this giant ugly stain on it. Yeah, they definitely have Wrath in their deck, but I don't think they have it in hand based on how they've played so far. I'm going to attack with these two because they both threaten to be lethal. They need to jump block at least one. They're dead assumes too much. So like, when you're talking about making your opponent have things, if you're not in a position where you need to make them have something, you shouldn't be super aggressive and make them have it unnecessarily. You're right. I definitely could have played this Arcbound Ravager and potentially killed my opponent this turn. That's definitely something I could have tried to do. This isn't a construct. It's a beast? Seriously? God, these artifact sets are so weird. Did constructs not exist? No, because Arcbound Worker's a construct, right? Why is this a beast and not a construct? It's an artifact. Watsy, come on. Come on, Watsy. What are we doing with ourselves? What are we doing with ourselves, Watsy? What if we didn't do that? What if instead of doing that, we didn't? Fight! How are we punished? How are we punished? We were punished by winning the game? Twitch chat, get out of here. Punished, punished. That was the only Dromoka's command in our deck? There should probably be more Dromoka's commands in my deck, huh? How is the opponent punished? Like, punished implies that you had something bad happen to you that you could have prevented. I think my opponent very correctly went for the combo there when they needed to go for the combo. I think my opponent correctly identified they weren't beating the board and they needed to make me have something. And like, I had it, so they died. But like, just because your opponent has the thing you couldn't beat doesn't mean that you're wrong to make them have it. So again, making a correct percentage play doesn't mean you're going to necessarily win the game. It just means you're trying to give yourself the best possible chance to win the game. This hand is close, and again, I think the rule of thumb is when your 7 is close, you should mulligan if it doesn't have your namesake card. It also doesn't have our namesake, but there it is. Look, Chad, I wouldn't have had the scry there. I wouldn't have had the scry if we didn't... Lord Tyrus with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I do appreciate that. So, this is actually a good example of why, like, I'm always suspect of decks like this. Because, like, is the power level of this deck truly good enough that it's worth getting hosed by common sideboard cards people have? Like, is the power you have in the games where you get to do your thing worth the trade-off of being kind of ranched by cards like Stony Silence? That's the way I think you need to look at decks like this when you're thinking about playing them. Make some friendos. Hi, friendos. I think we're getting rinsed off. I think we're getting rinsed off. What's going on, Afara? I mean, the Karn might be good at some point, you know, when we can draw more lands in our 18 land deck. And oh yeah, those lands have to not be Darksteel Citadel. Magic Online's quality software is the reason why this card is the wrong color. You should look up what the term ranched means on Urban Dictionary, or you shouldn't if you're eating. If you're eating, you shouldn't look up what that term means on Urban Dictionary. You've been warned. Oh, I could have Pendelhaven for a damage. Maybe that was worth it. Is it worth taking a damage to deal a damage? Probably. I just had in my head I didn't want to take a damage. Karn does make a big boy. Karn does make a big boy. Please path me. Please path me. Tilt. Tilt. I just wanted to be pathed, opponent. All right, are you just gonna like give him the old beatdown through the Stony Silence? I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but it feels like we're headed in that direction, right? Yeah, we are kind of drawing the cards we need to kind of power through this, right? Like Scales and the Hangarback Walker was good sequencing. The Karn will be very good if we can hit one of our non-Darksteel Citadel lands. That's true. That's true. I don't think I can play Scared of a Restoration Angel here, right? I'm pretty sure I just smash. Yeah. We're dead to land, Kiki. They missed their 4th land for a little bit. But, yep, we are in fact dead to land, Kiki. Don't really have any choices to play around that. Survey says, God, they have a field of runes in their Kiki-Jiki deck. That's some stones. That's some stones. The old field of runes Kiki-Jiki deck, yep. Thinking of playing Hex or Hearthstone, I typically play Magic as a TCG player now. Is there one that you would think a person would confirm? If you plan to play primarily on the computer, I find Hex's gameplay a little bit more engaging. It depends on what you want to do. There's two considerations for like picking up a second game, Hex or Hearthstone. One is like, what engagement level are you looking for? I like Hearthstone's gameplay by and large, but I have a hard time really getting engrossed in it. Like whenever I stream Hearthstone for like 2 or 3 hours, I'm like a little bit bored by the end of it, I think. Like the way they're like bored or like spent or overwhelmed, just like the way the fast games line up in Hearthstone, it feels better to me as like a 20-minute to an hour game or 45 minutes while I'm like walking on the treadmill or have some quick downtime. Whereas like Hex is the kind of game where I could sit there and play it or stream it for like a 6 or 7 hour crack and like feel really engaged and like what I'm doing. Hearthstone also has a mobile client and a tablet client, whereas Hex is just on the computer, so Windows, Linux, or OS X. Look at our double Aether Vial Hangarback Walker hand. All right, this one's better. This one's better. And like, I think Hearthstone has good gameplay and it's engaging in a way that's different from Magic, but there's something about it. There's something about it that, that just like, it doesn't keep me going for the same length of time that like Magic and Hex do. I noticed in the green-black queue has the same Whisker Biscuit black-green lock 3 times and an unspecified black-green once. Should those be combined? Yeah, I could probably cheat and combine the unspecified. I actually like Whisker Biscuit's list a good deal. So I could probably merge the existing black-green in there into one of those. Get a little cheaty. Combine them up. I can make a red-green list of this to be okay to donate, no vials. Yeah, I think that would be fine, Morosith. I think this archetype in general is probably fine. I just think of little of the details. Some of the details in here are kind of lacking. I just want chat to be ready for the fact that I'm going to concede when they play Lantern Imps. I'm going to concede the match. Because this deck can't kill an Ensnaring Bridge. Can't kill an Ensnaring. I guess we can kill them. Nah, they have Pithing Needles too. Before someone says you can kill them with Walking Ballista, they have a bunch of Pithing Needles. Yeah, the Hearthstone PvE is actually pretty good. Two things that kill Ensnaring Bridge. You need like 7 things to kill Ensnaring Bridge, and ideally, none of them should be shut off by Pithing Needle. Because you can't have your way to kill Ensnaring Bridge in your opening hand because they take it with a discard spell, and you can't top deck it because they lock you out of top decking. Sorry, I didn't say what I meant. The thing I said and what I meant were different things, and I should clarify. This is what Stony Silence should be in our board for, right? If you want me to play a deck you submit against Lantern, you better have a lot of fucking cards for beating Lantern. I find Lantern's gameplay by and large uninteresting, and I don't enjoy playing against it. We're gonna play the 5th match here. Nivik, you can almost always unban anyone. Because guess what? Banning people is fun, so if they end up being a dickhead again, we just get to reban them. This is match number 5. Match number 5. I am very good at drawing lands. You are not wrong. What have we played today? This is ad nauseam is what that means. Can't take that bad boy up. Look at that. Look at this good deck building. Look at this good deck building. Named. Am I supposed to name? I'm gonna name Beast. I have 2 beasts in my hand. I'm gonna name Beast. Hey, John W. Thank you very much for the 100 bits. I appreciate that. Welcome. Oh, I didn't notice those because Moto just like threw them off to the side. Can we kill them? Are they dead? Not quite, right? This is 2, 7. I can put them... I can hit them for 8 poison. I think I just hit them for 1 and 2 and pass. Oh yeah, it'd be 9 so we move the scales over. It's +1. Yeah, you're right, because Hardened Scales moves it over. Yes, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it's an 8th when we move it over. I don't think we're supposed to go all in here. How are they dead? Hey, Nivik, was EOTFOFYL, that was the person that just asked you to unban them, right? How do I have lethal? Okay, so 3 +2 +2 +1. All right, they have to stay gone. I remember that username. No, it doesn't double the counters, chat. The last 2 doesn't exist. Sacrificing the Ravager to itself doesn't give itself more counters. So this is +2, which is 5. This is +2, which is 7. And then you get an 8th one when you move it over. No, you're fine, Nivik. You're fine. Anyone else, just feel free to unban them in the future. I had already passed J Gross. I know how it works. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. I'm gonna do it here in a second, and you'll see that this will only be a 9/9 Inkmoth. I don't remember a lot of them, but I know that that's a username of someone that I've banned multiple times before. And they the last time I unbanned them and they came back, I was like, I remember making a note that was like, that person stays gone. The Mathos for blockers. Yeah, so we're gonna do what we suggested last turn. So I'm gonna do exactly what was suggested last turn, just so chat could see that it wasn't lethal. Yeah, if we would have had access to Pendelhaven, but we didn't have enough mana to do that. So we sack, and then that makes this a 7/7, and then we sack this to itself, but this doesn't get counters for sacking to itself. And chat, opponent's gonna concede because it's lethal. This doesn't get an extra counter when you sack it to itself. That trigger never resolves because this is gone. So it's only gonna move 7 counters over, which turns into 8 counters with the Hardened Scale. Chalice is good here. Canonist is great here. Easy in, easy out. Pridemages are probably worthwhile. I guess the Dromoka's command kill their enchantment too. All right, yeah, I'm just gonna do the full ones out for the Chalices in. Yeah, that seems fine. They'll have what's it called in their deck? They'll have Laboratory Maniac, and so I don't think that's worthwhile. No, they should all have Laboratory Maniac at this point. I don't think you should bring in Pithy Needle style effects. Also, even if they don't have Laboratory Maniac, the important thing to remember is that when the opponent's deck combos, they draw their entire deck, which means they're probably going to have an Echoing Truth in their deck too. Revoker naming Blooms and Pentat Prisms is interesting. I didn't think about that. Maybe that's fine. Yeah, the deck's pretty great for CVN. Pretty great. So, the good thing that this deck is doing is very good. Hey, Cabo, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. Welcome, I appreciate that. The good thing this deck is doing is very good and very reasonable. The key to making a deck like this playable and reasonable in the format is that you need to figure out the best way to make this deck's average draw not be mediocre and anemic. So that's what you want to be looking to tune in a deck like this. You don't want to maximize your nut draws, because a slightly non-maximized nut draw is probably still good enough for most of Modern to beat. So things I would consider doing differently. I think even if you don't want a bunch of Welding Jars in your main deck, you probably want a bunch of Welding Jars in your 75, because this card's great. You probably just want a bunch of Welding Jars in your main deck, because protecting your Steel Overseer is kind of nutty. These Aether Vials were kind of poop. I think playing 26 mana sources in a deck like this is insane. And while Aether Vial turn 1 on the play allows you to like get under people a lot sometimes, it's basically a mana source, and I think it's worse on average than Mox Opal is in a deck like this. So I would rather play Mox Opal as a supplement to mana source rather than play something like Aether Vial, I think. The White Splash was okay. Dromoka's command felt fine. Ethersworn Canonist came in a lot. It's really sweet seeing Ethersworn Canonist in a deck like this, because Ethersworn Canonist is generally symmetrical, but in a deck like this that's all artifacts, Ethersworn Canonist is actually one-sided, right? So it's a card that can like actually slow your opponent down but won't slow us down, which is convenient. Yeah, potentially. You could play more jars. I think looking into something like Ancient Stirrings is good. This deck has so many colorless cards in it, and Ancient Stirrings is probably the most powerful cantrip in Modern, so you probably want to be playing that card in a deck that can leverage it. More Chalice in the side seems reasonable too.